right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to It's Monday.
Monday.
Hey, we have Nikki B. We have Charelle Hodge,
Hey.
and of course Darby Dolia. Y'all go ahead and share. And last time there was some confusion because we're streaming on multiple platforms. So let me just set it straight with y'all. We're streaming on multiple platforms and you can consume us wherever you get content. So you don't have to be on all platforms at the same time, mama. You can be on LinkedIn, you can be on YouTube, or you can catch us on Facebook, any of the platforms that you normally would watch or live stream. Okay. Also, too, just really quick, go ahead and share the video, and go ahead and comment and tell us where you're watching from. And also, too, if you have a business, drop your business name. We definitely want to be able to give you a shout out. Now, we are truly live. That means that y'all might hear some noise in the background. You might hear some children because we're all mommies, okay? But you the real deal on today. And we are super, super excited about our live stream. So I'm going to turn it over to Nikki B. And then we're going to introduce Charelle, and we're going to jump right on into it.
Hey, everybody, everyone. Hope y'all having a wonderful Monday. It's Monday. This is our live stream. And what we're trying to do on this live stream is to turn the negative connotation of Monday into a positive one. A lot of people look at Monday as being the day of the week, the most dreaded day of the week. You got the day that you're ending your weekend, you really don't want to go back to work and get back to it, but you got to. You got to pay the bills. So we're trying to, help motivate everybody to have a better Monday going into the week. Also, we're trying to, encourage prosperity and abundance to everybody, because that's how we're supposed to live, in abundance and prosper. We're not supposed to be out here living paycheck to paycheck. We're supposed to be out here traveling, living it up. And so today, that's what we're trying to do with is Monday. We're trying to hype it up. Let's hype up Mondays. Let's get to it. I am Nikki B. Again, that's Darby Dolia. And we have the infamous, the internet sensation, honey, Miss Charelle Hodge, that's about to drop some gems and drop the tea. Okay. So, Charelle, do you have anything you want to say? Welcome
to meat and gravy.
All right. First of all, let's go ahead and recognize our sponsors of It's Monday live stream. First of all, we have Virtual Impact Media. Next, we have Beautifully You Hair. You can check out these websites where you can get the Beautifully You Hair. And of course, yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, Charelle, I'll be sending you a week to review. Okay.
Yeah, that's so silly.
Yes, ma'am. We have Virtual Impact Media, which is, impacted the world through the use of social media marketing, video editing services and marketing services done for you about 90%. Only thing you have to do is post your videos. Next, we have more and more of the Word broadcast show with Miss Nazarene Dorsey. You can check her live on every Saturday at 9:45 to 10:45, an inspirational and faith-based show, and you can catch it here at www.nazarenedorsey.com if you need a little inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Next, we have BCA Culture, which is a small to mid-sized business consulting software tool that you can use to help you build the foundation of your businesses all the way up to getting big banks, the big banks with business credit and funding. Also, we have the Faceless Marketing Academy, where you can learn how to build a faceless brand. That is true, and it's happening every day without showing your face, and you can create hundreds of millions of dollars in passive income, leveraging systems and AI. All you got to do is have your systems in place.
Nikita, you just went on ahead and called that. She said you can create hundreds of millions. Okay, Nikita just went ahead and called it all out.
Come on in, baby. Come on in to us. Yes. And tomorrow there is a webinar for Faceless Marketing Academy. You can catch it 2 times. If y'all want to learn how to get to the bag and you don't want to show your face, because a lot of people don't, y'all can catch this 2 times tomorrow. That is February the 20th at 2 o'clock p.m. or 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Email is livestreammonday@gmail.com if you would like to get an invite to the webinar.
That's right. That's right. And before we jump on into it, I do want to give a little background about Charelle. And I do want to encourage y'all, go ahead and comment because we can see your comments live. And drop your names as well. Share the video. We can see them. So we see it like we are really live. And I do want to just go into a little bit about Charelle before we go into the interview as well, while we're giving everybody time to get on, while you're able to get on live. But just a little background about Charelle. She is a natural leader. And she's a bold and courageous leader. I would like to say that from what we've seen, she's going to open up her mouth and she's going to say something about it if it's not right or she feels like there's some type of injustice. She's faced many trials as a young girl, and she was forced to face what the world handed to her. So in a lot of ways, Charelle wasn't necessarily given the life that she's created, her own life, and she's turned her life around. She also began to believe in change. I think that's key to note when we're talking to her today, y'all. So not only are we going to be getting tea, but we're also going to be getting a lot of her story and her gift of storytelling. So for those of you who are entrepreneurs and you do not feel comfortable being in front of the camera, she calls herself just a girl in her camera. That's her tagline for her business. And that is something that she has been able to build her following from, and also engage others through telling her story. That's the slogan that she lives by. Now, she expresses her life in front of the camera, which y'all have probably seen in recent news with Keith. You've probably heard her going back and forth with Tasha K. She done called out Ashley Grayson. I'm telling you, she just has done had a hit on her life, and she's been literally, I tell y'all, it's been better than reality TV. And it's been breaking some funny stories. But always herself, she's able to share her story, and so that's what we want to take away with today. Also, too, that she's got some things going on with her friend and with Sweetly Seasoned, so we'll get into all of that as well. She said that she's an open book and she's not going to hold back. So, y'all, if y'all have any questions that you do want to ask, then please put them in the chat so we can ask those questions. And last but not least, she has learned to walk by faith, and that she knows that through all of this, God has carried her through. So regardless of what you might be going through in your personal life, we really want you to take away from this that you have a story, you have a powerful story that you can share with the world, and you can use it with your own voice. So y'all, let's throw some virtual hand claps, let's throw some snaps, and let's welcome Charelle. Hi.
Welcome. It's Monday. Welcome.
Monday. What's up? How y'all feeling?
Feeling good, girl.
Feeling great. How are you doing?
I'm alive.
All right. So what does it mean when you say I'm alive?
It just means I'm alive. I'm here. I ain't dead, so that means I got another 24 hours to keep it going.
I know that's right. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Charelle, I'm going to start off with asking you just some questions because our people want to know. Not everybody knows who Charelle Hodge is. As big as you are on social media, you still got a couple of people out there that's lost. They don't know who Charelle is. So can you please tell us who is Charelle? Give us a little bit of your backstory and how you are, where you are today. And you're so young. You're a Black female mother that done been through so many changes, so much in life, and you still kept persevering and you're here. Please give us your story, please.
Oh man, my name is Charelle. I was born Alexia. I got to where I am by I just keep going. I started off, as a kid growing up in the foster care system. It's really just battling, just fighting and trying to find my purpose, regardless if I was fighting because I was lacking from something in life or I was fighting because
there's some feedback, Charelle.
I don't know
something. We are live, y'all.
Right.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay. So, like I said, I got to where I am by just fighting. Like I always had a mindset of regardless of what I go through, what I encounter, who I encounter, the goal is to get through it and to keep going. So, I mean, just growing up after like all the times I've been to jail, all the times I just made bad decisions. Let's just put it in a broad spectrum. My determination at the end of it was to succeed. And regardless of what that meant, like I have to succeed. And now that I got little jits running around, I have to succeed even more. So if I had to say anything, like I'm just Charelle the hustler. Like I'm just like anybody else out here. I just know how to just, direct what it is that I'm doing in order to go or get to where I'm trying to go.
So for those who are watching, Charelle knows how to pivot. And let me just do a little translation because we got some baby boomers and millennials. The jits are kids, okay? So we got to on the terminology, okay? So when she says jit, she's talking about she was a little kid and she's talking about her children. All right, so let me ask you this, Charelle. With your experience, like growing up in the foster care system and then becoming a statistic because you ended up going to jail a few times, what was the point where you really began to change? Like what made you say, you know what? You can't keep living like this. You can't keep doing this and expecting to change your life. So what made you say, hey, I need to really pull this thing together? What was your aha? What was your come to Charelle moment?
I'd be lying if I said anything made me have that moment because there's so many times, even here now, where I'm like, yo, I'm about to go out here and spend the block and some, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna deal, we're gonna handle that, So if anything, if I had to put like a terminology or something behind it, it would be my kids. Like if it was just me out here, like believe it or not, I probably wouldn't be doing this social media thing. I'd be doing what I was doing. I was 16 and 17 before I gave birth to my kids. So just realizing like everything that I've been through, the situations I put my own children in, that I put myself in because of bad decisions, that's what really gave me the mindset of, bro, you can't really keep doing this street stuff. You got kids, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can I do what I was doing before, but do it legally? And shoot, after meeting with somebody else who was kind of in the same streets as me, it was like, look, you can do that, but let's put a green label on it. And that's when I jumped into social media.
That's good.
That's real good, Charelle. That's awesome. So the courage, what gave you the courage to what gives you the courage to keep going?
Money.
You know what? Most people won't say that out loud.
No, right. For real, money. I've grown myself into the life of the finest things. So if I want the finest things, I have to work for them without doing something wrong. And I feel like social media and telling my life and my story, you can't go wrong with that because who can change it? I can't. You can't either. All you can do is listen or either ignore. So it's definitely money. And then second would probably be my kids running around needing things all the time. Yeah.
Right.
I know that's right.
When did you start understanding the power of money? Because most people won't say that. Like if you ask an entrepreneur and you say, hey, what is it that you want? They're shy to say, hey, this is what I want. Although deep down inside, they want money. And I think in our community, we don't talk about money enough. We're not having the money conversations and the money languages. So I'm actually glad that you said something about it. What made you say, you know what? I need to develop a good relationship with money. Y'all drop some money bags in the chat if y'all hearing what we're saying.
I'm gonna just stop you right there. I do not have a good relationship with money. Like I know how to make money. I have a terrible relationship. I got 13 packages sitting right there. I gotta open right now. Half of them was free because they from sponsors and people who want me to do. But like, if I buy a pair of shoes, I'm buying my kids a pair of shoes. If I see some on TikTok shop, I'm buying it. Last night I just bought some turmeric. Like I have a terrible relationship with money, but it's not as bad because I also know how to grind and go and get it. There'd be one thing like, oh, I just made $10,000 and tomorrow that 10,000 is gone. And I'm sitting here like, yo, who's going to help me pay rent? No, I'm going to just get up and do what I know how to do. And we're going to make the money back. But yeah, my relationship with money is terrible. I'm not going to lie.
So that's so how many of y'all can relate to that you make money, but then you kind of go through the ebbs and flows of money, right? That's something that we need to talk about. That's going to be for another session because that's a real topic to talk about. Not only there's one thing to get money, it's another thing to keep money, and it's another thing to invest into the right assets so you can keep growing money and become rich and wealthy.
Right.
Different levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So what being that you say that the money motivates you, how in the world do you keep being motivated and you have to rebuild these social media platform pages numerous of times?
I mean, it all boils back down to the same thing. It boils down to my needs and necessities, my kids' needs and necessities, and then I have siblings as well. We lost our parents, so it's like I'm like the big dog of it all, you know. So like my big sister, like if I call my big sister, she gonna get it, whether it's legally or illegally. And I can only say illegally because back in the day I was out there, you know.
Keep it real.
Just I think it's just more so the motivation of knowing who I have depending on me. And it may not seem like a lot, but I mean, every day I'm dishing out, I'm helping, I'm serving, I'm doing that. But I know that can only continue to happen if I secure myself, if I make sure I'm good and have what I need, and I keep going. All of the rest of that will come in, and I can keep helping others, blessing others the way that I need to.
That's good. That's good. So let me ask you this. When you literally are looking at your children, who do you see when you're looking at your babies?
I see some angels that the Lord then gave me.
Mm-hmm.
I see some angels. I had this epiphany the other day, and I was like, why did I get chosen? Like, granted, if you're looking at it from a human realm, you would say you was being fast and you had kids. But then it's like, out of everything that I've done in life, all the downfalls, all the times I know for a fact I've hurt my own kids, even when I had to send them off to live with people because I couldn't even take care of myself. It's like, why did you trust me with these kids? Why did you trust me with what I'm going through type of thing? I don't know what the reason is, but we're here now. So I got to do my job and take care of them while they're with me.
That's good. That's a good point. And then one more question, because I know me and Keita going back and forth, but another question I feel inspired to ask you is your background. Did you ever get to meet your parents?
I did.
Okay. So when you were put into the foster care system, your parents were still alive. Can you kind of dive into that a little bit?
Yeah. I went into the system when I was 4, and trauma breeds a different type of memory. A lot of people remember when something or someone hurts them, and it kind of just like sticks with you. So in that situation, when all you know is your mom, regardless of what you've done, the situation we were in, when all you know is her and you're watching, like, oh, you come to court, right? But we still have to leave and go with somebody else. You come to court, you have to leave. You see that, but then you start to realize what's going on. You hear the little words. You hear the judge saying, do you want your kids? Simple words that anybody can understand. My 3-year-old can understand it. So when you're hearing her going against what it is that the judge is saying, you know, it's like, this is like a different type of hurt right here, you know? And then going through what we were going through in foster care and things of that sort, it's just, I don't know, man. It's a touchy subject, but I've cried enough tears about it. And it's like, I don't know. I don't really know how to put it into words.
So I guess what I'm really getting to is you have a drive for your kids there has to be a God-given drive for your children. You know, some things we're born with innately, but sometimes trauma bonds or life can happen where it makes you not care. So some people will take the path and say, you know what, I had these kids, you know what, forget it. And they keep the generational curse going. But something inside of you said, you know what? No, I'm going to keep driving. I'm going to keep fighting for my kids. You see what I'm saying? So what is that? See, what we're wanting to get to the audience is there's no excuse.
There is no excuse. And I'd be lying if I said that I always had that drive for them, because I gave birth to my first child at 17, and then I waited 4 years, and my last 3 kids came back to back. So I'd be lying if I said I was always just force driven for them, because I felt like I was not enough for them. And that really played a part in me sending my son to go and live with my aunt, or sending my baby girl to go and live with my godmom. So it really played a part, because I was battling myself like, dang, bro, I can't battle like what I'm dealing with in my brain, trying to maintain my life and carry the load of 4 kids and my siblings and try to just like stay mentally sane. So I went through that for a long time. Regardless, like I was calling, FaceTiming, visiting. You know, I would go and be around my kids, but I'd be lying if I said that they were right here and we were thugging it out together. The only kid that was with me through the mud was my oldest daughter, and that's Jaylee. But I did have a mindset for a very long time, like, I can't do this, bro. I don't want to lose my kids, and I'm not going to give custody of my kids up But I was glad for the people that stepped in and was like, look, we see you trying, and maybe you don't know how to do this whole motherhood thing. There's no rule book for it, but we're here to help you. And granted, if you look at it, like I kind of took advantage of it, but it really it molded me into who I am. So now when I go and I get my boys and I bring them home, it's like mommy, like they know me as mommy because mommy gonna come through. Mommy gonna do this, mommy gonna do that. My girls know me as mommy. Well, my youngest one, she knows me as mommy, but she's more so since she was a baby. She grew up with my godmother. So I got her back when she was 2 years old. But it's just like it's different now because I came to the realization, like you said, faith, just realizing like all of this has to go back to who I believe in and where my help comes from. So I'm gonna just do it. Like if I end up homeless tomorrow with my kids, we gonna do it. That's it.
I think this is important to show the human behind the person. You know, I can ask questions all day. You go ahead, girl, because
so that we're talking about restarting and finding that drive and you loving your kids, and you don't really show your children a lot on social media. But how do you keep your content so juicy?
Man, my life is juicy. Man, look, I know people are probably like, this girl is lying. And I'm so big. Like, that's my main thing now. I love a good receipt because it wasn't much as I needed to prove this to y'all, but I wanted y'all to know, like, this is me. This is the raw, uncut me. These are my mugshots. These are my charges that I'm posting. This is me dealing with these situations. Or when I had like recordings of me arguing with the man that I was in a domestic situation with, it's just like, I can tell my story and people can tell their story all the time, but you're going to always have those people. And I'm big on it, which I need to let that go. But I'm big on, I can't have no doubters in a situation that means so much to me. So when I'm talking about it, now I got to show you, I got locked up this time. Here's my new one. Oh, here's the recent one. I had a fresh late. You know what I'm saying? So I was just, I'm just big on proving to the world what most people would say you don't have to prove. But I was doing it.
And that's interesting because you see how her voice just switched, y'all. That's how she talks when she's on her TikTok. She gets into a storytelling mode where she's like, oh, and this, and this, and this. And I've seen them, and she has her pictures behind her. So go follow Charelle, myself, Nikki B on TikTok. Okay, go onto TikTok, go follow if you're not already following, and you can actually see her stories. She takes you through. I mean, before Miss Gail and them, and before all this stuff that we see them popping off on TikTok, and women are starting to expose their relationships and their husbands, Charelle was literally on TikTok exposing her own life. And I think that's why you are so bold when you're doing your storytelling. When you are calling out people, it makes people uncomfortable because you have a level of truth that you can resonate with because you're comfortable in telling your own story. When so many people try to block parts of their story out, I know that, I've done that. It's like, you don't want to tell everything. You want to keep some things inside, but you're just like, you know what, heck, I'm here while we at it here. Here's all my mess. And you won't let anybody be able to tell your story the way that you tell your story. Right. So huge congratulations to you for that. Y'all drop some flowers for all of us that are on this show right now, because Charelle is up here. She's telling her story, and I know that some of y'all want to tap in for the juiciness, and we're going to get into the juice. We'll talk about what happened with Keith Lee, Trey, Sweetly Susan. We're going to talk about what happened last year. She blew up TikTok when she called out Ashley Grayson, and when she called out Tasha K, who's a blogger, who was also called out by Cardi B and other different celebrities. And so we're going to get into all of that, and we're going to talk about that. But right now, we definitely got to shout out our sponsors really quick. I'm going to jump right on into it. With Faceless Marketing Academy, you can learn how to build a faceless brand and earn thousands in passive income. If you want to attend a live webinar, go ahead and email It's Monday Live Stream at gmail.com, and then use the subject title FMA Live Webinar. We have BCA Culture. BCA Culture is a small to mid-sized business consulting software that transforms your ideas into profits. You can go to www.bcaculture.com. We also have More and More The Word with Ms. Nazarene Dorsey. Shout out to all of our sponsors. Thank you so much. You can go to nazarenedorsey.com. Her show is live on Saturdays at 9:45 a.m. to 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. Need inspiration in that faith-based word. also have Virtual Impact Media Agency. They're virtually impacting the world through the use of social media marketing. It is a done-for-you editing marketing service. And then last but not least, let's get into these bundles, baby. We have Beautifully You. It's an online hair boutique that offers premium closure wigs with BU2hair.com for those of you who will be listening on the podcast, okay? So we're going to jump right back on into it. I'm going to turn it over to Nikita.
All right, Charelle. What gave you the courage to speak out on the girl? Actually, what gave you the courage to do that? Because I know you had to realize that, okay, I'm really going to blow the roof off when I say something about this.
I honestly didn't expect to blow the roof off, but she took a little
off.
Look, although I'm bad with money, I don't play about my money. I don't care if you owe me $1, give me my dollar, So when I found out that she had finagled me out of $90, that was enough for me, baby. You took 90. What? You know what $90 could have did for me? Bought me probably a bundle that I couldn't put in my head, but still, like, you took $90. So I really just went on there. I made the initial video, But before I made that initial video, I went to go and search and see if somebody else had an experience with her. And I stumbled upon, what is that, Lipstick Alley. There was a crap ton of people. And I was like, all right, this ain't just me, but I'm about to make a story because I ain't heard about it, none of that. I made that first video and it went viral overnight. Like, when I tell you it went so fast, I was like, oh, look, you scammed everybody. That is insane. But
wow. Okay, for those, and let's do this. Let's go back because some people might be saying, what in the world is Charelle talking about? Charelle, break down the story from the beginning. You did business with Ashley Massengill. She's Ashley Grayson now. Okay. This is not allegedly, this is like real. This is your experience. So for anybody, any of her cousins or anybody that has anything to say, we're just here doing a podcast and Charelle is sharing her story. And we want to respect her and giving her the space to be able to share her story. So before people get on here and go into the defense mechanism, just listen to her experience and then you can understand why the story blew up so much. So just go back to the beginning when you were a customer and explain what happened.
So in the beginning, I actually caught wind of Ashley when she did some viral, whatever she did before the engagement on Facebook. And I was like, hey man, look at that black girl go. I'm gonna be like her one day type of thing, right? So of course she started pitching all these new ideas, the DCR course, the credit cake, And I knew like I need my credit right because I'm trying to buy a house by the time I turn 28. So when she introduced credit cake, I'm like, I'm on it. You telling me I ain't got to pay you hundreds of dollars a month? Let's do it. $30. What is that? So I go and I sign up for it like any other person. I find out she's giving referrals and whatever. I'm like, I'm going to put this in my bio, make some extra money doing it. So I'm all game. Like I'm supporting her. I'm commenting in her comment section, wishing twins on her, all types of things. So as time was just going, it just like, I'm very visual and I'm very nosy in my own stuff. Like I will sit there and go through my bank statements 50 million times to make sure my money is right type of thing. So as I'm going on my credit report, of course, Credit Karma, whatever. I'm going on there and it's saying stuff is like boom, 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 being removed or attempted to be removed. In her portal, it's showing that it's actually been removed. So I decided one day, I'm like, man, let me sign up for Experian. Let's just do the little credit boost thing. I go into Experian, everything I thought was gone was still there. And I'm like, maybe this is just discrepancy or something, whatever. I ain't even reach out to the girl. So I waited because the cycle for credit repair was coming again. So I said, I'm going to just wait on this one. Maybe, because there was a lot of stuff I had on there that really did belong to me. Maybe she tried to dispute it and it came back like, no, this is her. She about to take care of this. So I let it go through one more cycle. When it went back through, it told me in her portal that I was looking at like a 670 credit score. Why I log into the other credit monitoring and I was still at a 501. I was like, oh no, this bitch is playing with me. So I decided to make the video after realizing I had dedicated all this time. Now, before I even got to the video, there was this letter that came in basically saying that somebody's trying to dispute something on your behalf and they basically don't have the rights to do so. And I'm like, bitch, if you're a credit repair agent, why you don't got the rights to do what you trying to do? And that's what got my wheels to turning. Like, I really need to figure out what's going on. What if I just gave my information over to somebody and they're doing whatever it is that they're doing with it? Granted, you couldn't do much. I couldn't even find it a piece of bubble gum. But it's the principle of the matter. So after doing so, of course, I took it to TikTok. And it wasn't even about the fact of trying to expose her or trying, it was more so like, give me my money back and we're going to call it quits. And so when I made the video and I realized I wasn't the only person, like she was taking 2,000, 1,500, 14, like all types of money for people to sell a course, to teach you how to sell a course. That was just always weird to me. And so I was like, yo, bro, this is wrong. And that's what clicked in my head. Like I've always been for what's right, regardless of what I've done in the past. Like I'm gonna answer for whatever it is that I've done. Those are called consequences. So you have to answer for what you've done. Now, I never expected to be the face of whatever was going on and bringing this woman's empire down, but it just caught wind like wildfire. And I'm like, shit, we done started something. I got to finish it now. I just never expected it to take the turn that it took.
So when you started getting all of that backlash, okay, so it was now, first of all, Nikki B, she is a TikTok fan. She was on TikTok and said, girl, did you hear about what's going on? It's like a reality TV show going on. I mean, they're saying it used to be a Lifetime movie. It started like really trending. I think even Yahoo and major outlets started catching a hold of what was going on because there was an interesting turn of events, as there always is when it comes to your life, Charelle. And I'm not laughing at the events, but I'm just like, dang, how do you find yourself in these situations? It's like a movie that does not stop, right? So literally, there was an interesting change of events where it really began to turn dangerous. Can you explain, like, can you, for everyone that's listening, so they can understand your story, can you go into how things started making a turn for the worse? Because you were really picking up traction, millions of views, millions of likes. People were sharing your story, blogs were picking it up, and there was like a group that started, and people were sharing their stories. So, can you begin to share like what changed and when did it start twisting?
The change happened. I made the couple of videos and I went out of town. I came back home and there was like a letter sitting at my door, and I'm like, what's that? You know what I'm saying? Like most people just put letters in the mailbox. So as I got closer, I did see that it was an attorney on there. So I picked it up. Granted, people were like, you shouldn't have touched it. Could have been laced with something. Da, 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 da. I don't ever think that far. I just picked it up and I'm like, oh, okay. So as I'm opening it, I put in my code. I'm going into the house and I notice it says Ashley Grayson, DCR course, and her attorney. I'm like, hey, you know, this motherfucker doesn't send me what is this? So in my mind, that was gas to keep going. So now you know you done did something wrong and you trying to silence me. I've never been the person you could silence that easy. You gonna have to put a bag on my head, right? So I get on TikTok. I make the video. I was like, yo, this girl done sent me. I'm laughing because like, you know, you did something crazy. And granted, I'm here to give y'all entertainment, also deliver the news. But this woman done sent me a cease and desist letter, of course, right? So people are like, girl, that's fake. I'm thinking it's fake because it's just hand typed up, not really knowing how it is. And so they're like, just don't worry about it. Da, 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 right? So in my mind, after I post the video, I'm like, man, I'm going to go down to this office because it says like this person, this attorney is in Dallas. So I get in my car, I get on live on Instagram, and I drive down to the attorney office, go to 600 Commerce. I go all the way up to the 17th floor. When I walk in and I asked for the attorney that was on there, and the lady was like, who are you? And do you have your ID? I give her the ID and she said, aren't you on the phone? This is her looking at me, looking at her, talking like, aren't you on the phone with the attorney? I said, ma'am, I've been in my car for the past 30 minutes trying to get down here. Who is the attorney talking to? And she was like, oh, I don't know. So she tried to call back to the guy, the attorney that was in the back. He did not want to come out and see me. So you sent me a cease and desist letter to my house. I come down here to see what's going on and to verify, my bad, if it's real or not. And your what is she, secretary, is telling me you're on the phone with somebody pretending to be me right now. And instead of you coming out, you send out another guy that tells me I can leave and that you'll be in contact, but you never contact me. That was a lot, wasn't it?
I didn't know all that was going on. I know.
I those videos up, actually.
Wow.
Yep.
So then after that, you go down there. So then what happens next?
I leave. I go get me some chicken and I go to the house. I'm like, all right, well, you don't want to talk to me. It's a cease and desist letter. You telling me to shut up, but I'm not going to shut up. Like, this is me. I'm headstrong. I'm not going to shut up. You just gave me ammo to keep going. I kid you not. Like, what? Maybe 3. I want to say 3, but it could have been like 5. The next thing, it was so fast. I get a lawsuit in the mail. I'm being sued from $250,000 all the way up to $1 million for torturous interference of a business, defamation of character. It was a couple of things that she listed on there, and they had 6 of my videos listed talking about all of that was a lie. Okay, well, you'd sue me for $1 million. You ain't gonna never get it because I don't got $1 million. And I'm out here as fast as I get money, I spend it. So where are you gonna get $1 million from? So that was my head. Like, although it was serious, my mind frame was like, girl, you wasting your time. I would come into the courtroom and I would just tap dance all around you because what are you doing? So granted, like there was a group. When I entered the group on Facebook, it had like 400 people in there. It grew like wildfire. Like, oh my gosh, Charelle's talking about it. We're in the group. We about to get all the tea type of thing. But they just don't understand. Like, I'm on the outside. I get y'all pressed. I'd have made my $90 back. You get what I'm saying? And I'm here to help y'all. But like, it went crazy. Everybody talking about it. People saying how Ashley should do this. People like threats, all different types of things are being thrown around. And granted, I didn't want anybody to threaten her. I wouldn't want anybody to threaten me if I was in the situation. But once you walk to the fire, if you keep going, then if you get burnt, that's you. So all of that was transpiring. Whoop, whoop, da, da, da. I went into the group. I did let them know. I was like, yo, y'all, I'm being sued. She wants $1 million. I don't got no money. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, man, bump that. You talking about the whole nation right now type of thing. So we gonna help you raise the money. Granted, I would have never asked them. I honestly probably would have had $1 million judgment on me right now. But they came together and they raised the money for me to go and retain Kim out of Houston.
Wow.
Yeah. And then from there, Kim was like, girl, I've been following this story. I didn't think you was going to call me. And I was like, I didn't think I was going to call you either. I thought I was going to walk in there and deal with this by myself. She was like, nah, you ain't got nothing to worry about. And she stood on business. I didn't have anything to worry about. Granted, she told me to shut up and stop posting stuff on the internet, but I was like, I ain't about to let nobody silence me, baby. Not even you. But like, we in the wee hours, like even after I hired her, you know, I was on the internet and I was really just, it was far beyond exposing her now. It was like, now you know you've done wrong. You're trying to silence me. Now I really got to show you who the big dog, because it's not you, you know? So we go through the whole little transpiring of the courts. My attorney files her motions to respond to all the BS that was going on. Man, like 4, maybe 5 days later, I'm out with my homeboy. We at Addison Point. We drinking. We just minding our business. We vibing. I get a phone call from a random number. I save all the numbers, and people who know me usually text me. So I ignored it the first time, and I'm still like, yeah, let's go do some karaoke. And they called me again. I said, all right, bro, hold on. I'm about to go outside. When I go outside, all I hear is this Charelle Hodge? And I'm like, yeah, who is this? And he told me, my name is Special Agent Taylor Page. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, wait. Let's slow the story down. Let's slow the story down, y'all, because this is where, hold on. Let me, because I can feel people being like, what? This is real. This is her real occurrence of what happened in her life, okay? And if you can learn from the way that she's telling the story, she's keeping a cadence and she's keeping a flow and she's keeping the story going, y'all. So this is where things begin to turn deadly. Like, this is where things can really transpire and like change, and she had to learn how to navigate. All right, so there's 2 sides of social media. There's the side where Charelle opened up her mouth. She was courageous and she spoke against what she felt was done unjust, but because she's a natural fighter, as y'all heard in the beginning, she kept on fighting. Here we are, y'all. Check, this is the part where things get like, this is where everything begins to really change and it starts gaining national attention. Charelle.
Yeah, so I go outside, I answer my phone. It was like, is this Charelle Hodge? I was like, yeah, who is this? Because that's just me. That's my attitude. He was like, this is Special Agent Taylor Page. I'm calling from the Dallas division of the FBI. And I'm like, the FBI? You know what I'm saying? Because I stepped outside of the life. What are you calling me for? He was like, we've been made aware that there's been a threat on your life. And immediately I started crying. I don't know. Like, I'm not a teary person. If I cry, like I'm hurt or I'm bothered. And so, like, I start crying, my alcohol done start like falling off and everything. Like, I'm really in a vulnerable state. And so he was like, where are you right now? And I said, I'm out here drinking. I'm just trying to enjoy my time. You know, like, I'm really, like, I'm telling him this, but I'm hurt at the same time because who trying to take my life type of thing. And it never once, like, in that same breath, it never once crossed my mind that it was somebody in my same city. Like, what? So he told me, he was like, look, we need you to basically get to the house. So He finished having the conversation, whatever or not. I go back in. I tell my friend what's going on. He was like, oh, yeah, we about to go. But you're not staying at home by yourself. You're going to come to my house. So I go home. I pack me some clothes. I go over. But then I'm like, yo, I can't just not go home. I can't just run away from this. Like, at that point, you're going to have to come knock on my door type of thing. And this was, I don't know why I feel like I got to be so strong. But my mentality was, if you're going to take me, you're going to have to come and do it. Like, you're going to have to come. So I stayed at his house a few days, whatever, and then I ended up going home. I picked up my oldest daughter. We went home, and we just vibing. We vibing. I get a random knock on the door, and it was like some weird, granted, I just got the call from the FBI, but it was like some weird. So I ain't really think none of it. I told the internet, hey, man, I just got a strange knock on my door type of thing. And they're like, girl, get your Ring camera, da-da-da-da. So we go on. Me and my daughter, we vibing, we on live. We hot. We hot right now. So we interacting with the fans. And so I get another knock the following evening. It's like boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, I can't be going to jail, bro. Like, I'm not going to go to the door with nothing. But I did creep over. I looked through and it was 3 officers. I said, what you? It don't look like they going anywhere. So I go ahead and I open the door and they were like, Charelle. And I was like, yes. He was like, look, we've been made aware that there's a threat on your life. We came over here to make sure that you're okay, to let you know that there's going to be people outside watching ABC, X, Y, and Z. And so while they were saying that to me, granted, I had already heard it from somebody over the phone. I didn't believe that was a real agent or whatever. But what got me was when I closed the door, my 8-year-old daughter, 8-year-old daughter was like, Mom, somebody want to kill you? And that's what sealed it for me.
That would have sent me, girl. How did you feel at that moment? Because that would have sent shivers through my body. I would have just broke down and started grabbing my child and packing up stuff then.
Yeah, I mean, I had to be strong. I couldn't break down in front of her because she thinks I'm Superman, like Superwoman, whatever. She thinks that way of me and her father. So saying that, of course, on the inside, I'm like, yo, like, this is real. Like, y'all done sent the people type of thing. But with her, I'm like, girl, ain't nobody going, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to pass it off to my daughter, but kids feel energy all the time. She was natural, like, she gravitated. She was always around, like, Mom, you're going to be okay, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, Jayla, we're going to be fine. So as the days roll by, of course, I let my attorney know what's going on. She was like, girl, what? The FBI reached out and was like, we need you to come in. We got to interview you. We need a statement. We need to know what's going on and how we got to this point. So, of course, I let my attorney know. She was like, look, I can't drive down that fast, but I will be on a conference call so that whatever it is that they ask you, I can guide you if you don't know what to respond or whatever the case was. So I go down to the FBI. I don't go to no police station unless absolutely necessary. So when I get down there, it's like gates and we pulling up and I'm like, oh, if I go in here, I might not come out. What's going on, bro? And this is just my mindset from all the shit I was doing. So I'm like, what done caught back up to me? So I'm like, fuck it, they want me here, so we just gonna have to face it. If I go to jail, I just go to jail. I'll be out. I ain't murder nobody. So I go in, they tell me everything in your pockets, leave it in the car but your ID. I was like, all right. I go back to the car, I dump everything. I go in, they take me through a full metal detector, running me down, they search me, then they finally give me a tag and they release me to go in. When I go in, the guy was like, just sit down. I was like, you're rude, but I'm gonna sit down. So I sat down and I waited. And y'all see this wall behind me? The bitch turned into a door. It turned into a door and some agents came out. I was like, oh, that's creepy. And I don't think I want to go back there. So he came out. He was very nice. He was very kind, dressed in civilian clothing. He was like, Charelle? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, hi, I'm Taylor. And, he was real kind to just like make me comfortable. I was like, yeah, uh-huh. And I'm looking around. He was like, look, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Your attorney's on the phone back there. We're going to go in. We're going to go straight to the left and go to the conference room. We're going to get you in and out. And when we went back there, he basically just asked me the same thing that y'all did. We need you to run it. Do you got, he didn't say receipts, but do you have proof of anything that you're saying? Da-da-da-da-da. I was like, oh, yeah, I got the receipts. You know what I'm saying? So I'm running everything down to him. We was in there for a few hours. So we ended up leaving. He was just like, look, we're watching. Like, we just want you to know, like, granted, keep your head on the swivel, but you don't have anything to worry about. We really feel like we got the situation under control. And he did tell me, like, I can't tell you who it was that she hired just yet, but you might have an idea, right? And this was after he told me, like, it was Ashley. Like, yeah, it was her. Whatever. And so I'm like, who you gonna hire to come and get me? You the big dog with all the money. You come do it type of thing. So anyways, I later on found out that she hired the girl out of Memphis because the girl inboxed me and said, I'm the person that was hired to come and get you. Granted, when I think about it after, because in the heat of the moment, I'm like, you really reached out to tell me this. Like, this is what you thought was the educated thing to do. But way after we done argued and I was calling all types of names, I did have like this understanding of where she was coming from. Like, I wanted to let you know, like, it was me she hired. I was never going to touch you. My husband was never going to touch you. You were good. So I was able to process it after the fact. In the heat of the moment, you come to tell me, bro, why do you think you said telling me this? You know what I'm saying? But that was just a lot. That was a lot.
How did you handle that emotionally going through that? Because at that time, would you consider yourself a TikTok influencer before all of that happened? You were naturally just posting your stories and just telling your stories. But because you had already posted so much content about your stories, when people came to your page about the whole Ashley Grayson situation, bam, you had receipts of your whole life. So then people started getting really invested in who is Charelle and what do you have going on. And I think this is something for entrepreneurs. I'm not saying that y'all have to have something traumatic happen, but she already had content. She was already a storyteller naturally, whether she had an audience or not. It just so happened that when her life got put on display and she was a girl with a camera, she was up there, you were telling your story. Next thing you know, boom, that ended up being like your break to where you have millions of followers. And now you literally have people that support you. You have brand deals. You have all of these things that's going on. You was just recently in the news with Keith Lee, and y'all, we're running out of time because we only had an hour today for the show. But we definitely we got about 10 more minutes, and then after that y'all gonna have to come back and catch us next week. Maybe we can hop on this thing next week, but y'all gonna have to come see us next week, because I'm gonna tell you right now, this thing is juicy. So now when you're going through that, all right, you get the information that, hey, it was me and my husband, just want to let you know you're good. And she was trying to do that out of a place I can understand as a woman. She's just trying to come to you woman to woman, Barbara to Shirley, okay? She's just trying to come tell you, like, listen. So when you're going through that, do you have any contact? Because I know one key thing is that your attorney said, don't post online, like don't say anything during this time. And so, and because you're a storyteller, were you still posting out of like, I need to prove my point? Or were you at that point saying, you know what, I need to follow the law? And if you did keep on posting, did it bite you in the butt? Or, how much can you share with us now with what's happening with the whole situation and the whole case? Because even after you're up here telling your story, people were still saying that you were lying about the whole situation, because the influence from that side was so big that people were like, oh no, she's lying. She didn't have a threat on her life. And then it started coming about the ex-boyfriend having a threat. Then it started coming out about another mentor having a threat. And so people started saying, well, wait a minute. And now one person, okay, we might be like, okay, but 2 people now, 3 people now. So where are you at with this whole situation?
Well, to answer your question initially, my attorney kept telling me a million times to shut up. I was just like, look, in my mind, I never told her this because I have real respect for my, I'm grown. I'm gonna keep talking. I ain't did nothing wrong. I ain't said nothing wrong. Everything I got, I can back it up. And from the group, they had a lot of receipts in there or whatever. So I kept posting, and it never came back to bite me in the butt. And well, it kind of maybe because it prolonged it a little bit. When, oh my God, we just submitted this motion, and now Charelle's posting this, and she's like, Charelle, if you keep posting, I gotta keep submitting motions, and I gotta keep charging you. And I was like, okay. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, the group got me. This is my mindset. The group got me. Granted, they did end up raising, what did they raise? 55, and then they raised another 13. So they ended up raising like $6,500. But at some point, my attorney was like, look, I know this is the open and shut case. I need you to shut your mouth, but you ain't gotta pay me nothing else. I'm gonna get the money from her, type of thing. So I ended up winning the case. I didn't have to pay her any money. I couldn't countersue because I wanted to countersue for the whole the murder for hire thing. She was like, look, she didn't physically touch you, so you don't have a case here. Who don't? You don't think I have a case, but I got a case. So she finished up the deal. She sealed it on. She got paid. I got the money back that we paid. I wanted to give it back, but they were like, girl, no, you keep the money. So I kept the money, and I used it to invest in myself. Look what's going on in life, Yeah. And shoot, a couple of months later, I went and filed my own lawsuit. Now I'm about to sue the bitch. Sue the woman for $5 million. It is. It is what it is, because it's not only me at this point, because had you succeeded, it would have been my kids, whether they were with me or not.
So let me ask you this from a legal standpoint. Is there going to be repercussions for that? Because there was a lot of, can you clear the air on what might be the repercussions from that, if you can?
The repercussions from what? Winning the lawsuit?
No, not winning the lawsuit, but is there going to be repercussions for like Ashley Grayson or like other people that's involved with their like lives? What's going to be, because some people were saying, oh, you're going to jail. Some people are like, no, you're not. Like, what is that? Where's the status of it as of today?
Oh, actually, she got a RICO charge, her and her husband. I wasn't listed on the indictment. Not that I care about. If you go to jail, I'm going to be satisfied. Not that I want you to, because you have your baby. You could do 10 years and then they can amputate an arm. I would be okay with that. But the RICO charge in the state of Texas carries 10 years. So she's being charged out of Tennessee, and I think it carries 10 years as well. There's one person listed on the indictment. If you get 10, see you in 10, twin. But ain't no repercussions for me, but she definitely got a lot.
Oh, wow, y'all. So just as a learning point for entrepreneurs, y'all, listen, if somebody asks for their refund, just give it back to them. Just give it back to them. Give them their money back. Here you go. Here's your money back. Because see, we done went around all the way around the world, and now I do believe that, Ashley had a sense of business about her. She knows how to market, and therefore it could have just been a simple, this is what you call a $90 problem that has now costing you millions and potentially your life because of lack of emotional intelligence. That's a whole nother podcast. It's a whole nother live stream. Mm-hmm. And so now with Charelle, I'm gonna take it back to the beginning, because I hear in your voice you're a fighter and you like to tell stories. Were you always the person, like how was your experience growing up in school? Were you the person that would always be the storyteller at school? Were you bullied? Did you bully people? Like what, give us the real, like what is your personality type like?
My personality has always been bubbly, but I was never a storyteller. I love to write. That was my strongest suit when I was in school, writing and math. I was bullied heavily, like in school. My nickname was Motor Oil. We never had any of the designer things. Like I was really like that one kid you would just like, oh, look at that kid type of thing. That's who I was. But as I grew up and I kept writing and I just kept like, I don't want to say I kept remembering things, but a lot of things just stuck with me. And it wasn't even that I wanted to become a storyteller, become an influencer, any of that. I was working at Sonic. I worked my way up until I was about to get my own store. And then, of course, the PPP rolled around and I had like a little bit of a leeway. And just talking to somebody who was already doing social media and just them hearing my story and saying, yo, you can make money off of this. And if it make money, it makes sense to me, So he was like, look, all you got to do is just get on TikTok, tell your story, be you, be true. And I did that. And like my very first video, like I don't know anybody. No, I don't. I don't know anybody that can post one video on TikTok as your very first video and it goes viral. And that sealed the deal for me. Once you told me what I can do in order to do it, man, look, I'm taking the bread and I'm running. And that's exactly what I did. And I haven't stopped yet.
What was that first TikTok about?
Me getting beat up by my baby daddy.
Oh God. Look at Nikki's face. Nikki said, what? See? Yep. Nikki, unmute your mic. What?
Goodness gracious. Again, we're not laughing. It's funny, but the audience or the people love controversy. They feed off of that controversy. Even I don't care if it's the simplest thing. If you make it seem like, they're gonna take it and run with it. Mm-hmm. So weird as that story is, that's what ignited your stardom. Mm-hmm. So with that igniting your stardom, how do you want to continue to keep this journey going with igniting your stories? How do you keep finding the right content? Is your life really that interesting where you could just go back to yonder year and pull out a story and make it blow up on TikTok? How do you continue to do that?
It's not something I have to go and search for. It's really not. Like, granted, like she was saying earlier, Miss Darby, she was like, man, I'll say some stuff, but I'm not gonna release it all, you know. And me, being alive 27 years, I have a lot. And my life has been filled with so much trauma. Granted, it's been filled with a lot of good things too, but I skim past the good part. Bump the good part. Y'all don't want to hear about that. Y'all don't want to hear about nothing successful I've made. And granted, y'all might. But when it comes to grasping someone's attention and keeping it and keeping them to like coming back and watching you for more, you have to like, you got to give them the raw and the uncut. Yes, I'm going to tell you, I went to jail. I tried to have an abortion and the baby survived. I was homeless, sleeping in my car. My baby daddy tossing me through TVs and shit. I'm going to get, like, I know for a fact it sells. Drama sells. Granted, it sounds crazy and people tell me all the time, like, bro, you should really stop telling your life. No. You know how many people running around out here day in and day out creating stories that don't even resonate with nobody. So imagine if somebody like me come through and I'm raw, uncut, vulnerable, transparent, and I'm giving you the raw, that at the end of you watching this 40-part series, that girl Charelle said to go Google her. Now you on Google typing me in, she wasn't lying. And I'm big on that. If I'm going to get big, if I'm going to be recognized, if I can't go in Walmart because people see me, it's going to be for something that was near and dear and true to me. Not because I was out here faking like I had a Lamborghini and living this lifestyle. Now people see me and they're like, oh my God, it's Charelle. Y'all gonna be like, it's Charelle because Charelle was raw and uncut. That's it.
That's a good point. Now, do you want that to be a part of your legacy? Like, okay, we talked about your past. We talked about like currently what's happening. We're going to get into some other things. We'll have to have a part 2. But what do you want your legacy to be?
I think I want my legacy to be that she started, she fought, she finished, and along the way, she helped everybody that she could. I just like, even in everything that I'm doing now, I'm thinking of ways to implement others. And I'm starting with my city because my city is underrated. Like, people don't understand. It's so many talents. It's so many people that are good at what they do, but they don't have any exposure. They don't know how to expose themselves, market themselves. So if I'm gonna climb to the top, I'm gonna drag the city of Dallas right behind me. And that's what we're gonna do.
So now explain what you're doing now. I know, Nikki B, I know you're on mute. I know this is, we going back and forth, but explain like what it is that you're doing now. When you say you want to really put Dallas in a position and the entrepreneurs there and the organizations there, what does that look like? Like, what are you really wanting to do?
I want to be a help, but I don't want to be a voice for people. I don't really so much want to be a voice anymore. I want to take my platform and what I do to expose my city to a whole new light. Imagine how many underrated people there are, how many talented people there are in the world. And they could have some of the rawest ideas and things, but they don't know how to get past their front. So I'm building my platform solely for, I'm a host a podcast. I want to talk to business owners. We may laugh and we may joke and I may spit some crazy stuff here and there, but at the end of the day, when you leave, 1 million people gonna know what you do. So therefore, you can take this and you can, look, Charelle, and you ain't even got to mention me. Put your product out there. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna share you. So my goal is to just put the city on. I'm gonna help you in any way. If you got to come on a podcast, if I got to do promotionals, if I got to do a live with you, whatever the case is, if you in my city, and we'll branch out and talk about other states later. But I always got to take care of home. So I know I'm secure in whatever it is that I decide to do. As long as I got my money to back it up, I'm gonna be okay. So now it's time to make sure that the people around me can do the same thing.
So can you explain, and y'all, we're gonna have a part 2 next week because
this is if you want to go over.
Okay. So check this out. Can you explain what you're doing now? How people can contact you, entrepreneurs, particularly professionals who want you to promote or shout out their brands. Can you explain how they can get in contact? I know we have lifeofcharelle.com. Okay. And then I also know that you are on TikTok as well. But what are other ways that people can contact you, and what services do you provide?
Look, I'm very diverse. Whatever you have, I'm marketing. I'm content creating for you. I will feature for you. Go on a lot, like anything to help boost you. Life of Charelle right there is gonna take you to everything. My personal phone number is on my website, so I want to be always in reach. So it ain't no, yes, I have an assistant, but it's no, dang man, every time I reach out, I can't reach Charelle. No, you're gonna be able to reach me. We gonna work out a master plan, whether that's marketing, whether that's social media building, whether you want to write a book, build a website, create a t-shirt, you want to go get you a brand new car, anything, credit, whatever it is. Like Life of Charelle is gonna connect you directly to me.
That's good. That's good. Nikki V, you got anything else you want to add?
Charelle, girl, all I can say is coming from your new big sister, honey, I am so proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you. I'm
Yeah.
proud of the maturity level that you have reached in your life to keep going, to keep persevering, to keep putting people on no matter what you went through in life. You didn't stop. And you telling your story the way you want to tell it so nobody can tell your story. And that is so courageous. You are helping so many entrepreneurs. I don't know if you've done your research on us, but that's what we do. We help businesses, we help entrepreneurs tell their story and get funding while they do so. So, yes, honey, yes, everyone, a lot of times we don't give each other our flowers while we are here. But, girl, I'm giving you your flowers right now
Yes.
because, honey, you are on a rocket. And I don't know, for all of the people who don't follow Charelle, please follow Charelle because she's always dropping gems. She's always telling people how to monetize. Tip number 1, tip 12, tip this, tip that. Y'all, another deal today. I mean, I got another wig today. So she's telling y'all, I want to help you. I want to help you. I want to see y'all succeed. And Charelle, for you being so young, girl, keep going. I don't know who is watching this live and who needs to see your story, but honey, your story is powerful. Keep telling your story, keep going, keep feeling that courage, that faith drive, keep growing that faith that you have, for your children so that they can see the best mama. Because no matter what you did in your life, they see a perfect mom. And you keep that in mind and you keep going and you just keep being Charelle. So yeah, we're gonna dive into next week. We're gonna dive in more of the content creation, more of the gems that you can drop so that you can help these entrepreneurs monetize their social media platforms. Honey, you making a bag on social media. Show me how to do it, okay?
Right.
Show me how to get out there.
Charelle get brand deals. People are calling her to their businesses. We're going to talk about what happened. She got one business confused with another business, and she had to go out and help them getting it straight now because we were both called Sweetly Seasoned. We're going to even talk about, her relationship status now with the mom and, what's going on and how that situation blew out of control with Sweetly Seasoned. And so we're going to talk about that on next week. So y'all mark your calendars on February 26th. Okay, at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. We're gonna be back. We're gonna have an hour. We're gonna jump into it, and we're gonna talk about these things. So next week is really, 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 really when you want to be here. You want to be live. If you're catching the replay, just comment replay. Go ahead and share the video. Share the video. Get the word out. Follow Charelle. Follow Darby Dorlia. And follow Nikki B. And Charelle, I just got a real quick question. I'm gonna pass to Nikki B so she can ask you real quick.
Charelle, I know that it's the most dreaded day of the week, but what is your favorite day of the week?
It's Monday.
Yay!
We gotta do it like this.
That's awesome, y'all. We appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. Please tag a neighbor, tell a friend to join in, baby girl. Because next week, Charelle again will be dropping those monetizing gems. We all said 2024 is the year that we finna get the bag. We finna get the bag, okay? So y'all please tune in next week for It's Monday with me, Darby Leah, and my girl Charelle, honey. She'll be back again. So we wish you all well. We wish you all a prosperous, abundant week. Hope that something marvelous happened in your business, in your life this week. And y'all keep that faith growing.
Awesome sauce. Thank you
Bye,
so much.
y'all. Thank you so much, Charelle. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, and Nikki B, can you lead them with an affirmation? Because I know you always have some good affirmations.
I am limitless. I am limitless. I
Ooh.
can reach anybody, any mountaintop, any high, the highest building you can think of. I am limitless. I can do anything. I can do all things through Christ. Just know that. So I am limitless. Whenever you think you can't, just remember I am limitless, honey. If I want to do this, if I want to do that, I am limitless. No limit. No limit.
Yeah.
No limit.
Well, y'all heard it first. Y'all heard it here, and y'all heard it exclusively straight from Charelle's mouth. No he say, she say. Nothing can be lost in translation. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Charelle. Thank you, Nikki B. And y'all, it's Monday with Darby Dolia and Nikki B. This live and this streaming is officially over. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll see y'all next Monday. Bye.
Bye.